Good morning. There are two mechanisms that govern the current flow in semiconductors. One of them is the diffusion mechanism that we discussed in the last class, and we did a problem also. And we also discussed a little bit on the other mechanism, what is known as the drift mechanism. In today, we are going to quantify that drift mechanism by deriving expressions for the drift current density, and then we also talk about an expression for the electrical conductivity of the semiconductor. Therefore, the resistivity also, because conductivity is inverse of the resistivity and vice versa. Okay. So what is this drift mechanism? Drift mechanism is actually the flow of drift mechanisms represents the flow of charges electrons and holes in a semiconductor under the influence of external field, external electric field. Okay. In the picture, what I have shown here is a semiconductor with a cuboid shape, and across this semiconductor, I take metal contact and connect it to a source, DC source, and therefore I apply a field across the semiconductor. And because of this electric field will act on the charge carriers, and holes and electrons will respond to this electric field. For example, the holes being positively charged will move from left to right, and the electrons will move from right to left. The reason we know that the electric field always originates from a positive charge and ends on a negative charge. Therefore, the movement of holes and the electrons are in mutually opposite direction. It doesn't matter, because after all we are only thinking about the total current that flows through the semiconductor. Now, the direction of the conventional current is always for the movement of the positive charges, which means the direction of the flow of holes is the direction of the conventional current. Therefore, though the electrons will move from right to left, the conventional current always flows from left to right, as shown here. Okay. So this is my current, drift current, that flows as a result of the action on the electrons and holes by the applied field. Okay. So the parameter that measures how much current flows is actually, we know that it is the current density that we are more interested, because when we talk about current density, we talk in terms of drift current density here, and that is J drift. Okay, where J is the symbol for current density, and that is defined as the current flowing through the semiconductor per unit area of cross section, or cross sectional area. Now, what is this cross sectional area in this picture? The cross sectional area in this picture is this one. So you can clearly see the normal to this area and the direction of the current are in the same direction. Okay, so I repeat, the normal to this area. Okay, So the normal is this. Okay, so that is the direction of the current flow. So that is exactly what I want you to understand. So in other words, the area of this plane that is perpendicular to the direction of the flow of current. Okay, so J drift. So J drift is actually the sum of the electron drift current density. So I represent it as J subscript n drift and the whole drift current density. So I have written the subscript P stands for the whole. Drift is the mechanism that governs the flow of these charges. So we are interested in deriving expression for this this current density. Okay, so to do that, we will go to the very fundamental definition. Current is nothing but rate of flow of charges. Charge per unit time. So let us, so what is this charge here? So let us assume that N P represents the net concentration of electrons and holes. Okay, and we know Q represents the charge. Okay, plus Q represents the charge of a hole. So let us focus our attention only to hole current density to begin with, and then we can discuss about the electron current density. Okay, so Q is the charge of a hole and N and P represents the net concentration of electrons and holes. Now, okay, so we can actually, because concentration is always with respect to per unit volume. So if I multiply this N with the volume, then I will be able to get the total charges present. Okay, so in case of if I say, for example, if capital V is the volume of this cuboid semiconductor that you see in the figure, okay, then you product of this volume times this and the N or P will give the net amount of electrons and holes. Okay, so at any instant t, the total charge that flows through this cross-sectional area, okay, in a direction perpendicular to this cross-sectional area, okay, is actually. So let us talk about only hole current density. So amount of hole charge, okay, amount of charge in this case hole is actually P times the volume of semiconductor. So that is the, and I have to multiply with the charge of the hole, because this number you multiply with the number with the charge, you get the total charge. So amount of charge is actually with the charge of a hole. Okay, so what is this volume? So go to this figure. Let us assume that this is my length of this cuboid, and this is my area of cross section area of cross section is area of cross section is A. Let us assume that. Then the volume is nothing but the product of A and the length. Okay, so it's very simple. So amount of charge is going to be Q. I will write everything in symbol Q P volume, that is A times L, where L is the length of the semiconductor. That is along the direction of the flow of the current charges. Okay, so length of the semiconductor. So having said this, so we have QPAL. Now what we need to do is, I know the charge amount. Now we look for the current expression again. So current is nothing but the charge flowing per unit time. So charge per time. So I will write in terms of symbol again Q. So for charge I substitute QPAL divided by time at any instant t. So this is my time factor. So current, okay, at any instant. Okay, so now I will reshape this little bit QPA and I will write L by T. Now what I want you to understand, visualize here is, as the charges move in response to the application of external field, they gain average drift velocity. Okay, and I represent that average drift velocity of holes is V. Okay, V. So I will put this symbol V, and V is Vp drift. The P represents the hole, and it is by drift mechanism, okay, by which the holes are moving, therefore Vp drift. So I will simply rewrite this Q P A Vp drift. Okay, QPA Vp drift. This is the stuff. Now having said this, so current, we have an expression for current, hole current, the net hole current that flows through the semiconductor. We have it as Q A P Vp drift. Now I told you that this V is actually directly proportional to, in the last class we have talked about, it is directly proportional to the applied field E, and in this case of holes, the holes move from the left to right, which is the direction of the field also. Therefore the proportionality, I will simply have mu p E, where mu p is nothing but actually the mobility of holes. Mu p is mobility of holes measured in units of centimeter square per volt second. Okay, so this is the unit of the mobility. And what does this mobility represent? The mobility is a measure of how well the charge move through the semiconductor. Obviously, different materials, for different materials, you expect to see the mobility to be different for holes and electrons, because holes, the effective mass is different, electrons effective mass is different, and again if the material is different, then certainly you will have this mobility is going to be dependent on the nature of the semiconductor itself, and the mobility is going to be different for holes and electrons. So we will substitute this VP drift, okay, VP drift on the expression of the hole current. So what do we have here? We have actually hole current equal to hole current. I call it as IP drift is QP A. VD will now become mu P E. Okay, and therefore hole current density measured in units of ampere per centimeter square is actually Q P mu P E. Okay, what has happened here? The area of cross section gets divided because current density is nothing but current per unit area. Therefore, you get the area of cross section A goes off. Okay, QP mu PE. So that is the whole current density. Now, likewise, I'm going to write the expression for the electron current density. So what is the symbol for hole current density? So this is JP drift. So likewise, I am going to write the expression directly Jn drift for the electron current drift density, electron drift current density. Okay, so Jn drift equal to Q n mu n E. Okay, so you can understand very clearly that although the electrons move from right to left in response to the field, the conventional current direction is always from left to right. Okay, so the electrons have a velocity in opposite direction, but Q also is actually a negative charge. Therefore, that negative will get cancelled, leading to positive current that will be from left to right. So we'll have J and drift. So what is the total current density? Total current density drift is the sum of the whole current density plus electron current density. Therefore, I can simply write that it is actually Q P mu P plus Q1 mu1. I take the common term E out of the bracket. So once I take E out of the bracket, okay, so you have J is nothing but drift current density is nothing but you get this. Now you think about this expression here. Mobility is a material dependent parameter. N and P is also material dependent, but also they are dependent on temperature. Okay, Q is the charge. Okay, so having said this, the whole term in the bracket is actually can be written in the form of J. Current density is directly proportional to the applied electric field, and the term in the bracket is nothing but that represents sigma. Sigma is actually the conductivity of the semiconductor. J equal to sigma E, where sigma is electrical conductivity of the semiconductor. Okay, so this is the J equal to sigma E is the electrical this thing. J is having a direction associated sigma, and this J equal to sigma E is actually what is called the point form of Ohm's law. Point form of Ohm's law. So Ohm's law, we know the circuital form, which is the circuit form is actually is going to be okay. Circuit form is going to be V equal to IR. This we know very well. But J equal to sigma E is also another form of writing Ohm's law. We can get V equal to IR from J equal starting from J equal to sigma E, or we can get J equal to sigma E starting from E equal to IR. So both are one and the same. Okay, and sigma is inversely proportional to the resistivity. Sigma is actually inversely proportional to the resistivity. So resistivity. Okay, resistivity. Okay, so let me rewrite it again. Resistivity. So the whose symbol is actually the Greek rho. Rho is the resistivity. So rho is actually 1 by sigma, in other words. And we know sigma equal to, by now, sigma is Q P mu P, where mu P is the mobility of holes and Q N mu. Mu is the mobility of electrons. So rho is actually therefore 1 by Q P mu P plus Q N mu. This expression. Okay, with this expression, let us see a problem. Then we'll understand a little more better. Okay. Find the resistivity of intrinsic silicon and p-type silicon with acceptor impurity equal to 10 power 16 per centimeter cube. Use the intrinsic carrier concentration to be equivalent to 1.5 into 10 power 10 per centimeter cube, and assume that for intrinsic silicon, the mobility of electrons is actually 1350 centimeter square per volt second, and mobility of holes is 480 centimeter square per volt second. And for the doped silicon, mobility gets slightly reduced, and it is mobility of electrons is 1110 centimeter square per volt second, and mobility of holes is 400 centimeter square per volt second. Okay, so the doping will actually result in reduced mobility because now the charge carriers see a different crystal field. Okay, so it is going to be reduced. Okay, okay, let us do this problem. So let us start with finding the. So let us take the case of intrinsic silicon. Now you take intrinsic silicon, rho is actually 1 by Q P mu P. I am rewriting that expression, and then Q N mu. Now the resistivity, the unit of resistivity is ohm centimeter. Okay, so remember that this is a unit of resistivity, ohm centimeter. Okay, ohm centimeter. Now the unit of electrical conductivity is normally Siemens per centimeter, or people also write this way, ohm inverse centimeter inverse. This is the unit of sigma, units of sigma, unit of sigma, and this unit of resistivity, ohm centimeter. So substituting here, what we get now, we have to see what is P and N for intrinsic silicon. Intrinsic silicon, we know for intrinsic silicon, we know the hole concentration is equal to electron concentration, N equal to P equal to Ni. Okay, so that's it. So which means rho equal to 1 by. Now P and N are equal, so I can take the term out. So it becomes 1.6 into 10 power 19 minus 19 for the charge of the hole and electron, and therefore Q can also be taken out, and then I have 1.5 into 10 power 10, and this will become sum of mu P plus mu N, that is equivalent to 480 plus 1350. You substitute here, you will definitely get, you will see that this minus 19, this 10 power 10, and you substitute. Now remember one thing, everything is unit in centimeter only. Okay, so there is no need to convert anything. All you need to do is do the simple math. You will get rho, the resistivity rho, it is pronounced as rho. Okay, the resistivity is pronounced as rho. Rho resistivity is, you substitute, I am giving the direct answer, it becomes roughly about 2.27 into 10 power 5, okay, ohm centimeter. This is the resistivity. Now look at the value of the resistivity. Is it resistivity is pretty high, it is not small. Okay, now with the doping, what happens? That is an interesting case. We'll see that. With the doping, you expect the resistivity to go down. Why? Because resistivity is inversely dependent on concentration of the charge carriers, among other factors. Now with the doping, the charge carrier concentration is going to go high. Therefore, you are going to expect a lesser resistivity. Is it the case? We'll see that. Now for P type, because we have doped with acceptor impurity, it becomes P type semiconductor. Na is given as 10 power 16 per centimeter cube. Now P, the concentration of holes is nearly equal to this Na. Okay, for every acceptor atom there is a hole, therefore they are nearly equal. Of course, we are neglecting recombination and other minority carrier and all stuff. So we are just talking about this. Okay, P equal to Na nearly, and therefore it becomes 10 power 16 per centimeter cube. And N, that is the concentration of electrons per unit volume, is obtained as N equal to Ni square by P. Okay, so this is the mass action law by mass action law. Of charge carriers. So product of N and P is always constant, and that is equivalent to Ni square. It is only temperature dependent, right? Ni. So I will have N equal to, therefore definitely 1.5 into 10 power 10 square divided by P, which is 10 power 16. I actually end up getting 2.25 into 10 power 4 per centimeter cube. So now the answer is very simple. So rho, I will substitute directly here. I will get actually, if you look at it, I will talk about this. So here, if you look at 1.6 Q is common, so I will set aside, and now the N and P are different. Therefore, I have to use the same thing. Now let me first substitute for the P value, 10 power 16 into this is 1000. How much is the mobility of the holes? 400. Sorry. So it becomes actually 400. 400. Okay. Plus 10 power 4. Okay. This is 2.25. into 10 power 4 into 1110. Worst case, you assume this 1110 to be 1000, then in which case it is 10 power 3, this is 10 power 7, whereas here we have a term 10 power 16. So definitely I can neglect this term, and this term is going to be overwhelming compared to this term. Therefore, rho will be actually simply the answer to the rho will be 1 divided by 1.6. 10 power minus 19 into 10 power 16 is 10 power minus 3. Then there is a 10 power 2 here. So it becomes actually 10 power minus 3 into 10 power 2 will be how much? 10 power minus 1. And there is a 4 into 1.6. So that 4 has to be remaining. So it is actually rho equal to 1 divided by 1.6 into 10 power minus 1 into 4. You will get the resistivity value as 1 by 0.64, or it's simply 1.56 ohm centimeter. Now look at this result and compare this result with the 2.27 into 10 power 5. We see that even with doping at this level, okay, this is not heavily doped. This is only reasonably doped. Even at this level, you can see that it becomes rho is 1.56 into ohm centimeter. Okay, so which means you get the resistivity going by almost 5 orders. Yeah, it is not almost, it goes by 5 orders, and with doping, the consequence is the resistivity gets decreased. So doping is good. Okay, so you enhance the electrical conductivity by suitable doping of an intrinsic silicon. That is the lesson. Okay, thank you. We'll see in the next class, the next topic.